Hi guys, Simply Cooking here, 510. Today I'm making Spanish rice, Monica style. Okay, here's our ingredients. Olive oil, sea salt, onion powder, garlic powder, Old Bay for color and seasoning, water, rice, garlic and onion, a little bit of jalapeno pepper, just to kick up the flavors a notch. We have shrimp deveined and raw, and we have cooked shrimp. Cooked sausage, and they're in the same bowl because this is already cooked, so it can just go right in with the shrimp, and it'll be fine. Pepper and tomato, and a little bouillon cube just for color and for flavor. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to take about 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil, extra virgin olive oil, just to coat the pan so my goodies won't stick. Okay, you know your oil is hot when it's running all over the place. Okay, next you're going to put in your garlic and your onions, because we want them nice and cooked. I just want them to sweat a little bit. I really don't want them to turn brown. I'm going to turn my flame down a little bit, just to sweat. Get out all this garlicky, oniony goodness. As you see, I added a lot of garlic. You don't have to. You can just add 2 cloves of garlic or 1 clove, but I love garlic, especially in the rice. So, for me, the more the merrier. To help sweat your garlic, you can just cover it. Makes it a lot easier, a lot faster to sweat it out. Because being that rice cooks so fast, you want the garlic to be tender. Even though it's chunky, you still want it to be tender. You don't want your guests eating hunks of garlic in your food and looking at you crazy. Okay, so now we got our garlic sweated a little bit. We're going to add the peppers and the tomatoes. Now cut the peppers long for texture and eye appeal. You don't want, to me sometimes you don't want things all uniform. Everything doesn't have to be the same size, the same look. Yes, for restaurants. But when you're cooking at home for your family, for your loved ones, you want to see texture, you want to see eye appeal, you want to see just different things, especially if something simple as rice. Rice can be so boring. I don't care what you put in. It can be so boring and just so, monotone. So I have different textures. I have cubed tomatoes, long peppers, stringy onions. So it makes it kind of interesting in your meal, and that's what you always want, something interesting. Cooked, well seasoned, but interesting. Just cook it up nice and good. What I would even do is add a little bit of water, just so it won't stick, so it can help it cook a little faster. Deglazing as it goes as well. Just a little bit, maybe a tablespoonful of water, just so it won't brown so fast or burn. Again, put the top on. It'll help it out. Help it go much faster. Already, it looks like it's going to be some interesting rice. Love it. Okay, so now our mixture here is kind of soft. Not too soft, but of course there's still more cooking to go. So it's sort of soft, which is great because then we can add the rest of our items. Okay, so next we're going to add in our rice and our water. I mean, come on, who can't get excited about rice that looks like this? I mean, it looks great already. Now, we have our little jalapeno here. Now, being that the sausage is a little bit spicy, we only want a little smidge. And I just basically want it for the heat. So, I chopped up more than I actually is really going to use. Because my son don't like spicy, so I don't want to make it too hot. You can always add some hot sauce later, but you can't take the heat out. Once the heat is in, you can't take it out. So, I only use a little smidgen, like a pinch full of jalapeno. You can always add some later. Bouillon cube. This is a tomato bouillon cube, which again help flavor it, because rice is boring. This will cook down, color it, and make it even more flavorful. Just what we want. Look at that. I'm ready to dive in already. I'm going to stir this a little bit more just to incorporate the bouillon cube and set it and forget it, because you don't want to disturb rice. If you disturb rice, that's when it becomes chunky and clumpy and a mess to deal with. So, I'm going to turn my flame up so it can boil. And we can move on. Now, I'm going to also add salt to taste. Need the salt. Onion powder, to me, it's not redundant. Maybe people would think it's redundant, but I love onion and garlic, as we know. So the more the merrier. Garlic powder to taste. Everybody's taste buds are different. Now, this, Old Bay. Be very careful with Old Bay. Old Bay can be very powerful. You want to sprinkle it, and I want to cook it into the rice. Again, you have all this spice going on. You do not want it to be too spicy. It's always better to add at the end than to have it messed up in the beginning. We're going to just let that boil. Come to a nice boil, and then put a top over it, let it simmer down and soak up all that good oniony, garlicky, peppers, tomatoes, all that goodness. Then we're going to come back, we're going to add in our shrimp and our sausage and finish this dish off. See you in a minute. Okay, as you can see, it is almost ready. Not quite. I'm going to add in the shrimp on top. Yes, on top. It'll cook. Trust me. Add in the sausage on top. It'll cook. And I'm not going to stir it in right now, because you do not disturb rice. Add a little bit more water, because 2 cups is never enough. Put the top on, and your shrimp will turn pink. Your rice should cook down perfectly. It'll be great. Hi guys, we're back. Okay, I left it a little bit moist because I don't like dry rice. Dry rice tends to get drier as it goes on, so I left a little bit of moisture in it. I'm going to taste it to make sure it tastes good and seasoned properly. It tastes great. It's not over seasoned, but it's seasoned just enough. And after the first bite, you can feel a little kick in the back of your throat for the jalapeno peppers. And that's what you wanted. A little bit of spice. You don't want it over spicy. If you have people in your family that love spice, then add more jalapeno. But you know, just me and my son, and he doesn't like that much spice. So I'm going to give him just a little bit of kick because it is Spanish and they have to have their flair, but not too much. So now we're going to plate it. And plate it very simply. And this is the meal in itself. You don't need anything else. We got onions, garlic, mushrooms. I keep saying mushrooms. Onions, garlic, peppers, Old Bay seasoning, shrimp, sausage. We have it all in here. You can add more seafood if you would like. That's fine. This is very reminiscent of a jambalaya. Same thing. You can add, you know, more different type of meats. Leftover chicken, I recommend. Leftover beef, you can do, which is great. I like incorporating leftovers in my meals because it makes it new. Why not? So only thing I went out and bought was the shrimp, the Old Bay seasoning, and the peppers. That's it. Everything else I had in my refrigerator or I was gonna make do. So this is the plate. Look how great that looks. That's a meal within itself. Thank you very much for joining Simply Cooking episode 2. I'll see you again for number 3. Thank you. Peace.